Hello world, Cossy here with a little bit of a rant. I think I need to speak about someone, and that someone is Michael Bay. Now, as a lot of you will know from some of my videos, especially my Geek Movie News, I'm not the biggest fan in the world of Michael Bay. I think that his movies are quite formulaic and are built mainly around special effects rather than any sort of stable plotting. And it is to the detriment of those films, with the exception of the first Bad Boys film, which, yeah, I still think is a pretty good action movie. And recently, he's been doing things to movies and franchises that I am a big fan of. Starting with, obviously, destroying my childhood with those terrible Transformers movies, of which I still think the third one is the best and the closest he's come to making anything like a Transformers movie. But the first two are pretty awful. And as well as that, he has a production company. Some of you might not know this. A production company called Platinum Dunes. Now, Platinum Dunes basically make remakes, or have been making remakes of movies, in particular horror movies. And they are responsible for the terrible remakes of films like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Amityville Horror, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. All horror movies that I love the originals of, which this company has been remaking and remaking in a really bad sort of thrown together way, which hasn't connected with the audience at all like the originals did. So what does Michael Bay and his production company want to make a remake or reboot of now? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's right, the man behind explosions and robots that aren't even in the Transformers movie enough, and shots of hot women. Okay, I'm not going to complain about that one. He is going to make a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Now, thankfully he's not writing it, thankfully he's not even directing it, but he is going to be producing it, and he's had quite a bit to say about it. He's come out and said that these turtles are going to be aliens. They're going to be alien turtles from space that come to Earth and happen to be ninjas. In fact, if you look at the name of the movie on IMDb or on Wikipedia, it's just called Ninja Turtles now. So they're not teenagers. They're not mutants. What? Really? Really, Michael Bay? This is what you're doing to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Everyone knows them as that. Everyone knows that even though in the different cartoon series, in the comic books, there's been slightly different things going on, that they've pretty much always had a very stable origin. That they were turtles, they were mutated by an ooze, which in the original comic book was from space. There's your space connection, why don't you just keep that one? And then they were trained by Splinter to be ninjas and named after his 4 favourite classic artists. Very simple, doesn't need to be messed with as an origin story, and people accept it. I mean, you're talking about frickin' turtles, they're ninjas. You've already suspended your disbelief right there. You know, why do you need to try and make it that they're aliens, that they're not teenagers, they could be any age, that's just how we're going to roll with this one? No, no, I'm sorry, no. I don't know how many times I need to say this, Michael Bay, no! This is not how we want to go. We want to see a brilliant Turtles movie. The last one was pretty awesome and linked into the original live action films. I was a big fan, I've got it on Blu-ray, great movie. But I can understand that there's a new generation that needs to know more about this actual franchise. So, although I hate the fact that it has to be done, a reboot is always going to be the best way to do that, rather than continually connecting it to the previous films. So yeah, we're going to get a reboot. But do we have to get a reboot that completely changes everything about the origin of the main characters in the film? What happens when kids get into this? And it's no doubt you're going to aim for some sort of 12A rating so that you can make sure teenagers go and see it. What happens when kids do get into it? They go and see this movie, and then they go, like kids often do, and they look back and they look at the original cartoon series from the 80s and 90s, what I consider to be a fairly good, slightly edgier cartoon series from the 2000s, the movies, and the really dark comic book series which kicked the entire thing off. They're going to be completely confused by the fact that it's going to be so different from what you are creating, what you are going to put up on the big screen. Michael Bay, this is a plea from me and from 6-year-old me, with his Turtles bedroom and his Turtles bed covers and all his toys and his comics and his VHSs. Those of you who don't remember, they were those little video cassettes you put into players before DVD. We, the fans of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, do not want you to ruin our childhood in the same way you've ruined the Transformers. Stop trying to change the origin story. Put that back in. Keep it as faithful to the original source material as you possibly can. Get it in the cinemas. We'll throw our money at you. You'll be a happy man, and then go back to making movies about hot girls and explosions like you always seem to do anyway. Okay guys, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, then down there is the like button. You click on that and you let me know that you liked it. If you've got something to say, underneath there is the comment boxes. Maybe you agree or disagree. Something you'd like to add to the argument, then that's where you do it, down in that comment boxes down there. Also down there, you can click out the description box and there is a link to my Facebook, to my Twitter and to my Tumblr. Follow me, find out what's going on in the world of my channel and a little bit about what's going on with me also. Until next time guys, au revoir.